confess, Father, I confess, cause I've been living wrong.
Hey yo, what's up, man? It's your boy T SKO to the day. Mr. Flow So Good, Matiba Totle, Mr. Skip Up My What. Y'all already know, man. Back with you guys with another YouTube video. Now, for those of y'all that are new to our channel, like I always say, please do find a red button somewhere beneath this video. Make sure to click it before you leave. Also, clicking the bell next to that red button, because listen, YouTube ain't trying to notify people when videos are get uploaded, okay? So you guys need to make sure you click the bell so that they notify you when a video is uploaded on Cisco DTV. Now, there are certain artists prefer to, they just feature in the game from time to time, okay? You know, we don't know what's been happening with them. We don't know where they've been. We don't know what's going on with them. But every now and again, they say something that is going to hit home with a lot of people. One of those artists is a rapper by the name of Ntukza. For those of you guys that don't know who Ntukza is, he used to be part of a group called Tear Gas that consisted of KO, Mai, and of course also himself. And I think he was one of the founding people, you know, of Cash Time, or at least to some extent he was supposed to be. I don't know what happened there. They eventually split up and didn't necessarily become a crew. He went and did his own thing. KO went and Mai went and did their own thing. And to this point where it seems like, you know, each and every one of them is just generally doing their own thing. Anyway, he has come out to actually call out Kwesta for dropping a song at a time when Kid X also has dropped an album. For those of you guys that don't know, Kid X and Kwesta are part of the same label. They run the same label or own the same label. His name is Rap Life. And it's come out to basically call him out on that, basically saying that that was a selfish move. Now, a lot of people gravitated towards that tweet, okay, basically saying that he's correct in his thinking that, you know, it's basically selfish. How are you going to drop a song when you know that your man's is also still trying to push an album? And a lot of people also came out on the other side basically saying that, look, it doesn't matter. He is not responsible for what happens with Kid X's album. I personally always find it interesting when people engage in these conversations, because for those of y'all that don't know, this is not the first time this conversation is happening, okay? It's been happening in hip-hop for a very long time, and it's been happening a lot, you know, in SA hip-hop in recent years. You guys will also remember the case where KO basically came out and dropped a song around about the same time as E was dropping an album under Cash Time, and people accused him of being selfish and not wanting E to basically come out and shine. Now, here's my thing with this, okay? I get the fact that, look, if you guys are part of a label and you guys are actually working together, building something, it only makes sense, you know, for you guys to try and make sure that you push each other. So if one person is getting shine or getting spotlight, it makes sense for you guys not to, you know, basically drop at the same time, where it kind of looks like you guys are actually trying to compete for spotlight. You know, it's a better use of resources if all of you just pull those resources and actually say, okay, at this time, all of us are just doing one thing. We are pushing, for example, a Kid X. If we're not pushing a Kid X at this point, we're pushing a Makwa. If we're not pushing a Makwa at this point, we're pushing a Kwesta. Just, you know, you guys have this whole united movement where you push things together. And we see this model a lot with a lot of labels in SA, you know. I think Alawa Jasmine does that a lot. If you look at labels like Afrotainment, they do that a lot. Even when you look at Mampincha's label, that's what seemingly they were doing, you know, where you just focus on one artist at a time. So if this artist comes out, we make sure all of us are pushing that artist. We make sure that their song, you know, becomes the biggest, you know, one of the biggest songs in the country. And then once we're done with them, you know, they need to now start focusing their attention on other artists and so on and so forth. But I feel like it gets to a point whereby an artist becomes too big for that. Like there comes a time in an artist's music career where they become too big to play that game of, okay, I'm gonna put my music on hold to make sure that I push you, and then you put your music on hold to make sure that you push the other person, and so on and so forth. There comes a time when an artist becomes too big for that, and I am assuming that possibly that is the case with Kwesta at this point, because if you look at Rap Life, he is basically the biggest artist that is in there. And if you look at the amount of time that he has taken not dropping new music, you know, when did Spirit drop? It might have dropped, you know, last year at some point. It's 2018. He needs to come out and actually drop something. And also, we all know that Rap Life has been this label, and I don't know if this has changed, okay, because this year I see them operating a little bit with a different model. But I remember when him and Kid X actually started this label, I remember what they said. They said that, look, we're all dropping music at the same time. And they said the reason they're dropping music at the same time is because they don't want anyone to feel like another artist got a better opportunity than another. You'll recall that at some point they dropped songs on the same day. Like everybody dropped a song on the same day. TLT dropped on the same day as Kwesta, and Kid X also dropped on the very same day. And so it also could be that, you know, this is their motto. We all drop at the same time. There's nothing like you can't drop because I'm dropping. There's nothing like that. For them, it's their way or their idea of fairness. Okay, it's fair if we all drop at the same time and we all push the songs together. If you do better than me, it's not because of anything else. You're just doing better than me because people gravitated towards your song better. But overall, Bafetu, I just see it as a difference of labels thing. Okay. Not every label operates the same. Not every label has to operate by the same model, okay? You know, there are record labels. If you look at Rock Nation in the US, there was a time where both J. Cole and Kanye West were signed on Rock Nation and they dropped on the same day, okay? And then there are other record labels like Maybach Music where you would find that a Wale would drop and, you know, time would pass, and then, you know, a McMill would drop and everybody would be pushing that, and then Rick Ross would drop and everybody would be pushing that. So it all depends on the model that the label is using. And at this point, when I look at Rap Life, it looks like they're using the other model where it says, look, you can drop whenever you feel like you're ready to drop and you want to drop. But you guys leave me your comments in the comment section below today. Let me know what you think about Ntukza's comments on Kwesta dropping Vuruvai a week after Kid X just dropped his Thank the King album. By the way, dope album, and also the single that Kid X dropped, dope single. So I would advise all of you guys to just go get both of them, man. It's really some dope music coming out of Rap Life at this point. Leave me your comments and definitely subscribe. Awesome. Now wait, Emma Billy. I know you wanna go, but click that red button and subscribe and put some respect on a younger name, man. Awesome.